Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up, man up, or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy here with the Fit Dad Nation podcast. I want to welcome you to episode 1. This is the very first time I'm doing this. So first off, I want to thank you very much for being part of this. I have a lot of great ideas to bring to you here. And real quick, let me just say, there are a million fitness podcasts already. You already know that. Fitness space is probably the most crowded there is online. So there's no shortage of information online about fitness and health and diet and all that stuff. So the reason that I believe I'm a little bit different in why you should listen to this podcast specifically is because, first and foremost, I am a dad. I have 2 young daughters, loves of my life, and I want to be around as long as possible and have the best quality of life to spend with them. I have been a personal trainer, a fitness coach for the last 20 years, so I have the experience, but more importantly, I've been in the trenches, and I'm going to share in just a minute some of the things that I've kind of gone through over the years. So starting out as a kid, even all the way up and through my early 20s, I was what you would probably call a 98-pound weakling. Right? My nickname was Stickman for many years. When I finished high school, I weighed maybe 130 pounds. I was maybe 5'6". I was short and skinny. I didn't go to prom. I didn't date. I didn't work out. I only had a couple of friends. I didn't have a great experience, to say the least. My experience throughout school was pretty lousy. So kind of came into my own in my early to mid 20s. Started hanging around with some friends who were always going to the gym. I started going with them every day and fell in love with it. So I ended up becoming a certified trainer in 1997, and I just totally fell in love with it. So I started working out hard, training, learning as much as I could about putting on muscle and eating right, and experimented with all kinds of stuff. And over the last 20 years, I've learned a ton. I've met a ton of great people and helped a lot of people really change their lives for the better. So, a couple things I want to share with you is, really one of the main reasons why I even created this podcast was because, I was married for 8.5 years and I struggled. I struggled with my health. And the main reason was because, I had 2 young kids and, a job, a mortgage, all the bills. And so I put myself last, and I pushed my health off. I always had an excuse as to why I couldn't go to the gym. Ate whatever I could. And of course, my body responded poorly. And I see this time and time again. I work with dads every day, and it's just so common. It's putting yourself last, right? There's always somebody that needs something, especially when you have kids. And so what I'm going to tell you here, and I don't want you to take this as anything other than just for face value, but putting yourself first is not selfish. Okay, and I would argue that not doing that is actually selfish, because how can you be the best husband, the best father, the best employee, the best lover that you can be if you can't even take care of yourself, right? So this is one of the things that really frustrates me with working with dads, is because they're always putting themselves dead last because they feel guilty and they shouldn't have the time for themselves. That's just dead wrong, guys. So I went through my marriage, had a really tough time with my health, and then in 2012, I ended up getting separated and subsequently divorced, and that's when things really took a turn for the worse, and my life just fell to shit, right? I was away from my kids for the first time. I was just so upset all the time about not being with my girls, and I just abused myself. I started drinking a lot more. I ate McDonald's, and this is no lie. I stopped at McDonald's 5 nights a week and had a Big Mac meal with a chocolate shake and an apple pie. So whatever that is, probably a couple thousand calories or so. And I would sit in my car and I would just gorge on it. I would eat it in probably 5 or 6 minutes. I'd just stuff it down. I did that day after day after day after day. Obviously, within a few months, I felt like shit. So I stopped taking care of myself completely after I got separated. And so what happened for me is I ended up having a conversation with an old friend of mine who gave me a serious wake-up call and basically told me, you need to get your fucking shit together because your kids deserve a better dad. They deserve a happier father, and you're not it. You're a mess of a person. Get it together. And so I took it to heart. I really did. And actually that night, I left the restaurant we were at, and I went for a run. And I hadn't exercised in months. So I lasted, and I'm not kidding, maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and I was winded. But you know what? I didn't give up. The next night I went out and did it for 10, and the next night I did it for 12, and then that turned into going back into the gym for 20 minutes. And within, I would say probably 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months, my body had completely transformed. My whole mentality towards my life improved dramatically, and I had more confidence. It was starting to come back, and I felt great. And so I started working with dads specifically, trying to help them with some of the things that I had gone through and kind of using fitness as a catalyst to get your other areas of your life back on track. And so I created the Fit Dad Nation. And so, all told, we've got more than 25,000 dads across all social media platforms. And so we're connecting with a lot of dads out there. And so it's really more than fitness. That's one of the things that I want to make clear here is this isn't just a fitness podcast. That can be found anywhere. This is about becoming a better dad in all areas of your life and a better person. And so, we all want it as dads, right? We want to have more energy to play with our kids. We want to be able to keep up with them. We want more confidence so our wives will find us more attractive. We want better sex lives. We want to look better than our neighbor at the pool. The things, these are simple things, but so often we're overlooking them. And so that's what we're going to be talking about, kind of all these things that kind of tie into becoming a better dad and a better person. So a couple things I'll tell you. We have a couple places you can find me. So fitdadnation.com is my main website, but most of our conversations happen on Facebook. So you can go to facebook.com/groups/FitDadBaseCamp. So that is our private group. And it's really a place where dads kind of come together and kind of help each other with accountability and really become the best versions of ourselves. So I invite you to join us there. And I'm looking forward to what this brings. And I have a lot of people in mind that I'd like to chat with that I really think can share some great insight into becoming a better dad and a better person. So I really appreciate you being here, and I'll talk with you soon.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.